Hello, I'm Untitled Chapter, and it goes without saying that every brand new Minecraft update brings brand new bugs to the game. This is true for 1.18 too, and if you look at what you're seeing right now, this is me discovering a floating shipwreck for the first time, something that has happened to multiple other people since then. It's very funny, it's very hilarious. Likewise, looking at the stripe plans now in 1.18 is very visually fascinating, but my favorite bug of all in 1.18 has to be this one right here, where if you go past 3 million blocks in your Minecraft world, mountain biomes just don't generate. Instead, in their place are these giant chasms in the ground, and there's so much we can learn about how Minecraft generates just by looking at these. And so in today's video, I wanted to do precisely that, and let's jump right into this video where we look around some of the most interesting bugs I think I've ever seen, because as you can see, it is a really interesting new look at the world. And here's an Amethyst Geo too, just for good measure. By the way, if you like seeing these weird, super broken terrain videos, it's one of my favorite things to dive into, so consider subscribing if you're new around here to see more of these strange videos, because never before have we been able to see such a weird cross-section of the Minecraft world in actual natural generation. And let me just say that it gets even weirder than this one, because as you can see, this is a pretty weird cave example. It shows where there should be a mountain and yet there's not, and so there's this steep jump straight down to bedrock. However, things do get substantially weirder if we look over here and you see this particular mountain biome that's gone missing, because as you can clearly see, this is one that has some aquifers, some caves generating in what should be the empty mess, and it also has a structure generating below that. Here you can see an abandoned mineshaft tried to spawn, and did successfully because of the cave above it, into these empty chunks, and what you see here is one of these fascinating things that looks like it should be a custom super flat because it's pushing Minecraft generation to the very limits. Look at all these chains on top of these posts, which by the way are two-dimensional because we're so far out that Minecraft can't render 3D objects properly. It's very strange, but anyways, you can see like it's a very weird and strange world, and this is a perfectly normal bit of Minecraft generation, the game says officially, and so it's just so weird to look at. But even weirder than looking at this mineshaft is coincidentally the fact that this exact same mountain hole happens to generate a second one of these just over here, except this one generates where there are actually gaps in between the mountains, because obviously a mountain biome doesn't cover a continuous area always. So here you can see that, oh, strangely enough, it seems to be having some chunks taken out. And then you can see even more weirdly that the tree has generated over the gap, which means that the mountain biome feels like it generated as normal. I mean, the game code believes it has, and then these things have just generated on top. There's a lot of conclusions we can draw from how this has come to be that Minecraft just starts to generate this way, but to find out those, we need to do more looking, like at the abandoned mineshaft over here, by the way, where, as you can see, it generates in and out of the various chunks, being only 1 block wide here. So the abandoned mineshaft didn't generate alongside the mountain chunks, but the tree and the decorations and indeed the waterfalls right here did generate on top of there. Some caves have generated into certain ones of these and not into others. It's all very curious to look at, and again, is a great example to look at for what Minecraft looks like from a cross-sectional point of view. I mean, being able to look into the half part of a cave, or look at how the ores are actually naturally generating, or even things like this, and just being able to see like, yeah, that's handy, is very cool, but I want to see what else we can find, which is why I'm going on a mission today. Because there's a few key assumptions about this bug that I want to challenge, the first one being that this only happens past 3 million blocks. As you can see, if you look at the top left, this is actually happening at 2.999 million blocks as well, and I'd be willing to bet it happens a little bit further back if we push it even more. Also, as you can see, this doesn't affect the mountain adjacent biomes, so a meadow has generated just fine here, and so too have the slopes. It's actually very funny to see. The slopes have generated up to what is clearly going to be a mountain, and then the mountain just doesn't follow them there. There is no mountain biome right here, or so you might think, unless we do one of the clear checks on whether it's a mountain biome, because if we do /weather rain, which causes it to rain, if you don't know, snow in Minecraft is just rain, there's no distinct weather conditions, you can see how it snows here too, as if it were a mountain biome. I mean, that doesn't prove anything. It could be that it treats it as a snowy tiger or something, but the real proof that this is all still a mountain biome is even when we go all the way down to this lava layer, you can see that, oh, -53, all the way down here it is snowing still too. It'd be really handy for the mineshaft being on fire if somehow this, you know, maybe this, you know, snow could put out the fire, but sadly it cannot. Actually, wait, does snow put out fire? I've never tested. I guess today's as good a day as any, right? Yep, there's definitely a direct line of sight from the ceiling to the fire, but the snow, is not putting it out? That is very curious. I figured I'd confirm that rain puts out fire, and today I learned that that's not how that works. I mean, it's how it's meant to work. It's what the Minecraft wiki says happens. I can't light any more fire while it's raining, or maybe I can? Okay, this is odd. So the fire, I can't light new fires, and the fires won't burn through the wood, but also they won't go out? I'm not gonna question this. Anyway, so as you can see, these big lava chasms, as you can't see because of the rain, I guess I should say, because that's all this is. Snow is just rain under a different name. Anyway, as you can see, there's a big lava lake here, which is weird. Why does nothing generate here but the lava? And I think this tells us something interesting about Minecraft generation. If I go even further back and find another one for you. Just as a weird, quirky thing I found while looking for another mountain biome that didn't spawn is this right here. It's a meadow that's surrounded by taiga biome on all sides, but there's one lonely birch tree here, which I think is beautiful. Anyway, let's keep going forwards. Okay, I haven't seen any proper mountain biomes in the last 5,000 blocks or so, but I am finding weirder and weirder parts of the terrain, it seems. But that's fine. You know what? We're having fun. Okay, this is our proof. It's a very disappointing mountain biome, but mountains can exist somewhere before 3 million blocks. It seems. So it's very close to 3 million blocks that they stop existing. What is special about that number? It's very hard to tell, because if it was a power of 2, we could assume, like, okay, Minecraft runs into problems with integers and all that sort of stuff. But it's not very clear that is the case here, because 3 million shouldn't have an effect on why a mountain does or doesn't generate. Why is there a mountain here, but 200,000 blocks that way, there is something more like this? I don't know. But the only other thing we can test out is perhaps adding those 200,000 blocks to our Z coordinate and seeing if maybe the combined total needs to be more than 3 million for mountains to stop generating. We don't know if that will work either. I know we're meant to focus on the big bug today, but can we just quickly mention how this is a village that spawned in between 2 biomes that villagers aren't meant to spawn in? They're not meant to spawn in the forest biomes, they're not meant to spawn in the swamps, and yet there's still one here anyway. There's also meant to be a minimum gap between a village and another village, and I'm not sure if these 2 villages meet that definition, but it's very, very cool to look at. 2 quirky villages near each other anyway. All you've got to do is load up this very particular seed and then go about 3 million blocks and you can experience this for yourself too. That's what most seed videos on YouTube are like. I don't know why people assume that traveling 15,000 blocks to see one interesting feature is worth it. Okay, here we are. This is proof that it's not a combination of 300,000 on the coordinates. It's just something about roughly 3 million, but not quite 3 million, that breaks the world. And all of its mountain generation, which is so much more confusing when you think about it. Okay, we finally have another weird example of mountain holes that are generating before 3 million blocks. There is some crucial number out there that determines whether or not these mountains will be here, and I cannot work out what it is, but regardless of what the mountain regardless of the mountain not being here, just the terrain, by the way, the biome still exists, you can see how aquifers can still generate in this space. That tells us probably that aquifers don't care about, you know, what's meant to be there. They find an air gap that has generated, and they'll put some things in there, including dripstone caves in some cases, and those dripstone caves will generate on the bottom of blocks. Doesn't care about what those blocks may be, or, you know, the fact that there's a 100 block gap between it and the floor. But you might be curious about why there's lava lakes here instead, and I think this tells us something that we could already work out from how ravines work before this. Okay, now this I can't explain to you, by the way. Why is the water floating at negative 32 blocks. But what I can explain to you, or at least do my best to, is why there is a giant lava lake here down at -54. I believe Minecraft tries very hard to never expose bedrock to the player, or rather expose bedrock to air. Bedrock should be something you find at the bottom of your world, rather than just randomly stumble into. You'll notice how old caves very rarely did this too, and so something that I believe has existed for a while is this kind of bottom layer of lava that will hide bedrock. And so to prove that, we remove some lava, and you can see, yeah, what would have generated here naturally is just the bedrock. That is all that can happen right here. But Minecraft deliberately generates in this lava layer, as you can see right here, to kind of prevent that. And that is, oh man, isn't this fascinating to watch, by the way? Like flowing lava slowly vanish and kind of reveal something underneath. You know, I bet this would be really cool to use in a build some way. I don't know how you would use it, but I want to do it anyway. Maybe it's like flowing lava vanishes and reveal. You know, let's not think about this too much. Anyway, so this is why lava generates here. Minecraft prevents bedrock from... And again, I feel like a lot of people who are big on world gen might know that, but you might not know it otherwise. That's why there's always lava in caves where there would be otherwise bedrock spawning, and that's why the lava lakes can be quite large. Also, did you know that diamonds have a reduced chance of spawning when exposed to air? And being exposed to air is something they can't work out whether it's natural or not. And so you'll notice around here there are significantly fewer diamonds than if you are to expose and remove a chunk yourself. Also right here, this is just interesting, right? Just all this water covering up the cave, making for an interesting time. I can't get over how strange this all is. But far more importantly than any of this is where exactly is the boundary line? When and when not do these mountain biomes not generate, or again, just the blocks. The biome is generating. Minecraft knows there should be a mountain here. Lots of other factors that rely on that are 100% aware. But why does it decide not to in some cases? This is a very huge dripstone cave that we now get to see a cross-section of in a cool way. Oh, and by the way, this mountain biome is a perfect loop or like circle going around a slopes biome in the middle. So even more reasons to be beautiful. Is this the furthest back we can find a mountain biome? A full 650 blocks away from the magical 3 million number that we hear being reported in relation to this? No, apparently not. Okay, this has got to be the weirdest example. It looks like some frozen lakes from the surface have generated here. Or maybe these are also aquifers, but they're just frozen because of the biome nature. I can't even speculate on what these are meant to be or why they're here. But clearly part of the generation has survived. Just not the rest. Even stranger than that, in my opinion, has to be what happens when we look over here. So this is all clearly slopes biome. There's not meant to be any mountain going on here. But then here, there is just another random little hole. This one being much more stark and steep and contrasted. A full 800 blocks away from the 3 million block magical line. This is one of those things where I'm getting the most inconclusive and confusing answers on where mountains do and don't generate. So I guess what we can conclude is, you know what? Minecraft is weird, huh? Hope they fix this bug, except actually it's such a cool bug that's never going to affect any real players, because there aren't real players out here at 3 million blocks. A real bug that will affect you are these icebergs, but since we're going into the realm of like, okay, these don't affect people, but they're cool to look at bugs, let's go to the far lands, but in 1.18, huh? Because we've seen the striped lands, they're weird, they're quirky. What do the far lands look like with new mountains? Maybe I'm remembering this incorrectly, but I thought the far lands generated at 12.8 million blocks. And we're at 13.8, and everything is still here, besides mountain biomes. Did I forget when this started to happen? Obviously, we fall through the world as well, because none of the blocks are stable or really exist. What happens if we go to 23 million blocks? Well, that is... that's something, I guess. Huh. What happens if we go to 33 million blocks? Okay, so the world still ends at 30 million blocks. That's good news. Did I forget about when they changed this? Am I just... You know what? This video is Toycat is surprised by Minecraft generation being buggy, which really at this point I should know better than to be like that. There's no boundary on the world, but it keeps generating. You just can't teleport past this point. That I do remember being true. That I do remember being correct. Oh, it is so weird to be looking at 2D blocks. I don't know if I can deal with factory over here either. Did it actually generate as 2? Oh no, it's just a very wide block. Oh, that's so surreal. I don't get it. Why is the tree real but the grass isn't? Okay, the grass is real. This is This is too much for my brain to comprehend right now. I can't do it. Well, there's only one more thing that it's logical to do so, and that's to try and find in the stripe lands a bit where mountain terrain hasn't generated. Should be easy enough to do, right? Oh yeah, this is too much. Okay, here we go. This is the beauty we were looking for. As you can see, or maybe not see, this is what happens when you combine it with the semi-stripe lands. Is this what anyone should be doing in Minecraft? You better believe not. Is it beautiful anyway? I mean, depends on your definition of beautiful, really, doesn't it? Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video. We're ending in a very curious and confusing place. But, you know, aren't we all at a curious and confusing place sometimes in our lives? If you enjoyed, then that's a good thing. And if you didn't enjoy, that's an understandable thing. But all that matters is that if you want to see this particular seed, I assure you it's much more interesting close to spawn. And then if you're willing to travel the 3 million blocks, you can get 2 villages kind of close to each other on Sunday. Yeah, promoting my own seed Sunday. What's next? Am I going to tell you that I live stream most days because it's December? Or that, I don't know, I make videos basically every day because it's like my job or something like that? Yeah, I bet you weren't expecting that, were you? Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I guess I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye. Oh, that's weird. That's very weird. Oh, this is even weirder. Bye.